Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Imagine If. I have such a fascination to know what would have happened in the story if, in the end, Andrew Garfield had to pay a price with his life being taken away by his twisted best friend. I say, imagine if the Green Goblin killed Spider Man in The Amazing Spider Man 2. How would the story end with Spider Man sacrificing his life to save his love, Gwen Stacy? Sit back, relax, and let us know this tough and emotional tale. This story will begin on how it takes place at the roof of the clock tower. Green Goblin has Gwen in his clutches, making Spider Man go after them. As Spider-Man is on top of the clock tower, he tells Green Goblin to release Gwen because it is him that he wanted. Green Goblin laughed as he dropped Gwen in the air. Spider-Man caught her in time and fell through the roof, landing in the middle of the gear-turning clock system. Spider-Man let Gwen down and told her to run as Green Goblin was coming in to get his revenge on Spider-Man for never giving him his blood when he was at the edge of death earlier. Green Goblin throws pumpkin bombs and Spider-Man dodged the blasts, getting a few scratches here and there. Spider-Man tries to convince Green Goblin that he wanted to help him, but he wanted to protect all the people of New York. Green Goblin didn't bother to listen to Spider-Man, as he kept on saying to Spider-Man that he betrayed him. Gwen was about to get onto the platform where the stairs were at, but Green Goblin threw a pumpkin bomb at her before Spider-Man was going to strike. Spider-Man, without thinking twice, pushed Gwen out of the way, getting hit by a painful and powerful blow. Gwen is hanging onto the ledge of one of the gears, seeing Spider-Man wounded dearly. Green Goblin looked at Gwen and said to Spider-Man that if he really wants to protect people, then he should go and save his girlfriend. Green Goblin pushed Gwen off, and Spider-Man dove down to her as Green Goblin was chasing after him. Spider-Man was able to catch her, and he shot a web to where the stairs were at. The two made it to the staircase, and Gwen told him to look out. Spider-Man turned his head, and Green Goblin came in, hitting Spider-Man off the stair bars. Before Spider-Man could shoot another web, Green Goblin grabbed his wrists, crushing his web shooters. "Happy landings, Peter," Green Goblin said as he let Spider-Man go. Spider-Man falls, and Gwen arrives near the bottom of the stairs, seeing above Spider-Man grabbing onto a loose pipe that he was able to grab onto. He couldn't fight anymore. He was too exhausted and too injured to fight his best friend. Green Goblin came to Spider-Man and threw another pumpkin bomb. Spider-Man was able to dodge it with the last bit of strength he had, just before Green Goblin grabbed Spider-Man by the chest and stabbed Spider-Man in the throat with his knife. Green Goblin tells Spider-Man that he is glad that he is now going to die to join his mother and father. He let Spider-Man go, and Spider-Man fell all the way to the grounds of the tower. Gwen ran to Spider-Man in tears, holding him in her arms. She takes his mask off and sees Peter gasping for air. Peter was unable to speak because he was unable to breathe and was losing so much blood. Gwen said to Peter that he is going to be okay just before Peter's spirit left his body. Gwen screams and cries as she buries her head on Peter's chest. Green Goblin laughs above and leaves, saying that the sound of tears is all worth it. Green Goblin left, with Gwen looking at him with pure hatred, the feeling of revenge. All Gwen could do from that moment on for the whole night was to cry for the loss of her loved one. For the past few days after that, Gwen told Aunt May about how Peter was Spider-Man and he was killed by Harry Osborn. the Green Goblin. Aunt May was just sitting down crying and telling Gwen to please get out. After that, everyone knew that Peter went to his burial and watched as the coffin was being put into the ground, now lying next to his Uncle Ben. Every day, Gwen visited Peter's grave for hours, barely eating or sleeping. She never went on her trip. She wanted Peter to live, to die just because of her. She blames herself for this, even though she knew that it was the Green Goblin that killed him. As Gwen is deep in her thoughts, an elderly man stands next to Gwen, saying that he is sorry for her loss. Gwen asks the man if she knows him, but the man could only say that he faked his death to keep Peter from getting hurt by Norman Osborn, but it seems Peter was going to be lost either way. It was Peter's thought to be dead father, Richard Parker. Richard sat on a bench with Gwen, telling her how his blood was put into the spiders, which made Peter have the powers of Spider-Man, the same powers that he had, along with how he faked his death to protect Peter years ago. He tells Gwen that she can take Peter with him wherever she goes to help the people not go through any pain like this. With great power comes great responsibility, Richard says to Gwen as he stands up. Gwen thanks Richard and tells him that she will continue Peter's legacy. Gwen returned home and got out a folder that showed the schematics of the web shooters Peter created. She always wanted to know how it worked. She got into work and stayed up all night making her web shooters. She made it so that the webs were stronger, so that not even the Green Goblin could break free. She also made herself a suit that she was thinking of making for fun when Peter was still around. She didn't have powers, but she does want to help people, whatever the cost. She called herself in society from that point on as the Ghost Spider, and searched everywhere to get back at Green Goblin, to bring Peter to justice. For the past few weeks, Green Goblin was not sighted, as Green Goblin was hiding in the sewers of the city, to know now on how he is going to live now that Peter was dead. He knew he could do whatever he wanted now, and this idea came into his head to turn everyone into something monstrous as he is. One day, the police chased after Green Goblin when he was spotted coming out of the sewers. Ghost Spider swung after Green Goblin and told him that his time had finally come. Green Goblin was flying towards Oscorp with a serum in his hand, which was his own blood. As Green Goblin made it to the top of Oscorp, Ghost Spider webbed his engines on his glider, making the glider crash onto the floor. Green Goblin said to Ghost Spider that this will be easy, since she is no Peter Parker. Ghost Spider quickly webbed Green Goblin's face and gave him a hard punch to the face, making Green Goblin fall back, losing the grip of the serum. The serum shattered into pieces. Ghost Spider webbed Green Goblin's arms and legs to the ground, got on top of him, started to punch him right and left, screaming with pure emotions. As Green Goblin's face was bruised up and bleeding, Ghost Spider got his glider and pulled out the knife that Green Goblin used to kill her loved one. Ghost Spider held the knife on Green Goblin's throat, saying that he is going to die after killing the love of her life. But before she could have the chance, Richard's words came into her mind. With great power comes great responsibility. Ghost Spider looked to see what she was going to do. She can't do this. This isn't what Peter would have wanted. Instead, she threw the knife away and webbed Green Goblin up, saying to him that he'll pay in another way. She left as the police came to the top of Oscorp and took him away. Ghost Spider swung through the city thinking about how Peter saved her life. If Peter did that for me, then I should do the same for all the others of the city, she said as she felt peace inside of her broken heart. This is how Imagine If Green Goblin Killed Spider-Man in The Amazing Spider-Man 2 would end. What did you think of it? Let me know your opinions. If you want to see more, let me know, and it shall come to pass in due time. I am excited to show you all the next episodes that will come. But until then, my friends, farewell.